I am your host, Debbie, here to help you get in the know about Waco. This week, I'm going to be talking about the THRST Coffee and Eastside Revival event happening this Friday, and today I have a special guest in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Andres Alomas.
And go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're all about.
I am the owner of THRST Coffee and Third Space Theory Coffee. It's been a business I started here in Waco probably two and a half years ago. Started a mobile cart, and now I'm just expanding. I roast and sell locally online in partnerships with multiple people.
Yeah, and you're a local business, or are you a local Wacoan, or what about you, Waco?
I am not a local. I came to Waco about 3 years ago, and really just kind of on a random in-between phase of what I was trying to figure out to do with my life, and it kind of just, I landed in Waco and I stuck here, so.
Yeah, I always say that's such a common thread. Like, a lot of local artists and creatives and business owners all have a similar story.
Yeah.
They just landed in Waco, and now this is their home.
It's unexplainable to me, honestly. Like, I stumbled upon Waco, got really interested, got here, was very disappointed with myself, and I was like, what did I do? But for some reason, didn't leave. Still stayed here, and 2-3 years later, I'm happy I stayed.
Yeah, and tell me how you got your business started.
Background for me in coffees, I worked for Starbucks for a long time, and that was where my career was going until I wanted something different for myself and my life and family and so forth. So it was really, coffee came out of a necessity to try to find something for me to do that I felt comfortable in and could build upon. So it was experience from the past, and with also new community, new encouragement that has kind of like pushed me to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with the name for both of them?
Yeah. So THRST was just, I came up with THRST, but
THRST?
THRST, yeah. It's kind of cool the way it's spelled. I get a lot of people saying first coffee. And after the third time I've corrected it, I'm just like, yeah, first.
I mean,
yeah, it's fine.
It rings too.
It sounds good. First coffee, sure. But really, it was Rebecca. So we started out we launched our coffee cart in Cultivate 712, which is the art gallery downtown here. And Rebecca is a good friend of mine, and before all that happened, she sat down with us and kind of brainstormed and kind of narrowed down what we wanted to do as far as like our business model. And it really was just to create a space where people could come and you hear that word a lot, community, right? But like really come and commute and get to know each other. And that was for me also an entry point to coming into Waco, is that I saw that there was this level of like personable, of just like running to the same person multiple times in a day.
Yep, that happens.
So I realized that if I wanted to engage in the community, that's kind of what I wanted to build, and that would help me. So Third Space Theory, I think she came up with Third Space, and I elaborated on Third Space Theory, which is just taking it into like everyone has their first space, and their second space is their work, first space is their home, second space is their work. We're like in the in-between of when you're doing all those things, so you can, connect with people and, yeah, just vibe.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And the first time I actually saw THRST Coffee was at Cultivate, and I got some. I try to go to like all the First Friday events, and go to all the art galleries, and I just got some coffee.
That's
it worked
so
out.
Awesome. Being in Cultivate was super cool. I got to meet so many unique individuals, so it was a good starting point for us.
Yeah, and tell me about your transition. So you went from a pop-up to?
Yeah, we went from a coffee cart pop-up at the art gallery to being open consistently for like the whole week. For a whole year, we were doing like, I think, Tuesday through Saturday, and then eventually graduated to going to the farmer's market, and we were doing Saturday mornings. Then we went into booked gigs, and then COVID happened, and then we had to pivot. But during that point, we were already looking into roasting in-house. So once COVID hit, we kind of did a pivot and started selling online and selling bulk orders. So it worked out, even though we do miss like public interaction, which is why we're having this event this Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit more about the event.
So the event has come as it was very last minute. And yeah, confidence in my creative abilities is that when I come up with an idea, I just start chasing it. And if there's no negative energy, if there's no roadblocks, I just keep going. And so this event really came out of nowhere where I hired a new person and we wanted to do something kind of just to, expand on THRST. Everyone's just seeing THRST online. We wanted to be physically in a space. But also it was around the community that I was building in the last couple of months. Actually, the last month, if I'm being real, is that I've met a lot of black people here in Waco, which sounds weird, but a lot of creative young black people that I don't see that there's a space for. And that's just my perception. There might be spaces in East Waco and so forth, which I'm not a part of. But as far as the downtown scene, downtown life, and just a new wave of creatives being born, it's important to have that space. And so that's kind of what the goal was. I said, hey, let's do this event, but let's have a purpose behind it. So all the band members are black, besides one, Joey, but he's played with the whole band. There's Blake, Richard, Jada, Michael, Tashay. I think there's more people, but I'm kind of, I don't want to miss anybody. But yeah, the idea was to just bring, like-minded, like-space people in the same space to create, to feel the same energy, to innovate, and just to be around that familiar feeling,
Yeah, just to chill and build community.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, and tell me, I know you're, in the creative scene. I also know about Eastside. Do you want to tell me a little about your involvement in that?
Yeah, Eastside again came out of just an idea in a coffee shop. It was an idea me and Eric came up with the idea of, hey, why isn't there a space for artisans to come out and, showcase their talents or try to take their talents into the next level of entrepreneurship, if that's it. There's a farmers market, which is great. I've been part of the farmers market, but it has stipulations where local creatives might not be able to participate, and so that's what we wanted to do. And that really, again, it was just an idea that just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and now it's actually a year in, and we're getting so much traction. We have so many vendors signing up, and I think it's just good energy.
Yeah, I had Eric on the show. He came and talked about Eastside.
That's awesome.
So I've had him. I've had a couple vendors, and then I also run a boutique, so we're going to be at the show too. Pumpkin Boutique.
That's awesome. Let's go.
And you also do Lost in Waco. Tell me about your photography.
Yes. Again, my creative endeavors really started 4 years ago. And it started out of just me doing a clothing line and picking up a camera to display my clothing. But it kind of took a different turn, and in Waco I've had the ability to grow my talent and challenge myself because of the environment that I live in. But Waco has such cool structures and landscapes and all these other things that I've grown to learn. And but Lost in Waco kind of incorporates that, is that just exploring Waco, exploring the corners and the nooks of Waco that most people won't ever see. And as it gets bigger, it just gets kind of overseen. So yeah, I'm the director for photography on that. I help connect local photographers to share work. It's just collaborative. We share ideas, concepts, and just kind of try to put something together that's very visual, that's community driven, that reflects what's happening here in Waco, and even during expansion and or COVID or any other kind of movement kind of thing.
Yeah, and tell me about some of the things you would like to see in the future.
Man, music events are huge. I've been trying to do music events here in Waco for the last 2 years, and it just hasn't happened for me, which is fine. But I love the culture that lives in Austin, and how you can go to pretty much anywhere and experience live music, and whether it's paid or free, there's anything and everything. So that's really what I would love to see here, and just a huge diverse scene of different types of music. I don't know if you did the Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, where it tells you what you're listening to.
Yeah, which ones are your top?
Yeah, for me, I think I tapped into 3,000 new artists.
Wow.
Yeah, and 800 new genres. And for me, that's huge, because I grew up listening to like one style of music, and I've grown to learn that there's so much more out there.
Yeah, not to call myself out, but my top was Panic at the Disco for some reason.
Let's go.
It's okay. I'm ashamed too. Don't worry
no
about
way,
it.
dude. That's a classic.
Classic.
That's
I'm stuck
classic.
in 2009. It's
Dude,
okay. Don't
there's
worry about
nothing
it.
wrong. It's a vibe. That is
That's a
totally
vibe. And musicals.
Yeah.
That's such a weird combination.
I don't know about musicals though. I'll take Panic at the Disco.
Yeah,
though.
Panic at the Disco, definitely.
Yeah.
That was my number one. I was like, of course, Brendan Urie.
It was a good one. It hit charts, man. Like everyone was listening to that.
Yeah, and tell me about some of the other like music things that you've done around town.
I mean, nothing huge really. It's just Eastside Market has been the main one. I've tried to do a couple other things, but again, just because experience, learning new things, and when you're thriving, you're gonna fail a couple times. So it's really been successful at the Eastside Market, and the goal is to provide a platform for local creatives to come out and just show their talent with like no, I don't want to say expectation, but there's like no buy-in. It's like everyone and anyone that's there is there because they want to be there, and I hope that their perception's open to just listening and just taking in what happens and what's in the community.
I love the community of Eastside. Every time we go, it's such a fun atmosphere, and there's so many people that just come together. It's like
So
one big
cool.
family.
I could have never
I know
seen
you.
that.
I know you. Oh wait, I know you.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me that it exists and people actually look forward to coming. Every Eastside Market, I'm just like,
Every single one. I've been there.
Who's gonna come? Who's gonna come today? Is it gonna be a dud? But I'm speechless by the end of it every single time because I'm just so impressed with Waco and just how willing they are to like come out and support, but it has to be there for them to do it. So I'm glad I'm getting good feedback.
And speaking of community, I do a shout out section. So is there anyone you want to shout out?
Man, I want to shout out to Lalo's Coffee. Yes, Lalo's Coffee
I
just
saw that
opened
mural.
up.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, and then you got to shout out to Cade for putting out that mural. That mural is sick. I'm going to shout out to the dudes from Waco Cha. Devin's super cool. He's my guy. Eastside Market. Everyone from Eastside Market. Brotherwell Brewing. Danielle from Revival is coming up. This weekend's going to be super packed. So really just a shout out to everyone that's in Waco that's going to be coming out and doing stuff. Even during these times, just, it's like we're ending the year. Like, let's end it like on a good note. Let's end it strong and like know that the community's still going to be here no matter what.
Yeah, it's the last market of 2020.
The last one.
You gotta head out there. Go.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, and of course, now go ahead and plug yourself.
Well, I mean, you can check me out. I'm on Instagram. You can look up my THRST Coffee. It's at THRST Coffee, THRST Coffee. You can look up Eastside Market. It's Eastside Market. And then my photography, and it's abstract photography, and that's ABTRSTRACT.
Yeah.
I'll have to tag it. I'm the word speller, so it's okay.
Don't worry.
Perfect. That's good. That just shows you how human I am. That's all it is.
Yeah, we're all human here. It's all right.
Perfect.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say closing off?
No, I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you for reaching out in just a short time and being flexible with my schedule. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming. This was a super awesome interview.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. This is your host, Debbie, signing off. Now that you know, go. Just go, Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media Network podcast.